Hello and welcome to Up Your Wine Game. Today I'm going to be tasting, guess, Chardonnay. You guessed it, America's favorite white wine is Chardonnay. This is a Chardonnay coming from Monterey County. This is a 2021 vintage, Petit Reserve. So this is kind of Trader Joe's like entry-level Chardonnay. I think this sucker was like $4.99 or $5.99. Monterey County Chardonnay. Monterey along the coast of California, that's where you'll find a lot of bulk production of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir. There's really good vineyards there, really good vineyard sites, and people really paying attention to making extraordinary wine. But it's also a source of a lot of bulk wine and bulk grapes and bulk juice where people can make affordable wine that's usually very appealing. So this is Chardonnay 2021. Looking at the color of it, it looks like they maybe have added some oak chip, something to give it some color. Otherwise, it seems a little bit golden for a 21 Chardonnay. There seems to be a lot of color to it. And it's not, I was like, it almost looks like it's oxidized, but it's not on the nose. So anyway, just a little bit darker than I was expecting for 21 Monterey Chard at this price point. But let's see what's going on. Again, there are very few wines that I find less interesting than Chardonnay, especially Chardonnay under 30 bucks. It's not that it's bad. There's a lot of good Chardonnay out there for 30 bucks and under. It's just not my go-to white wine by any stretch of the imagination, not even close. I appreciate Chardonnay more in Champagne than pretty much anything else. The Chardonnay I do think is amazing. Again, very expensive, whether it's from California or primarily from Burgundy, where it gets out of hand. Stuff's amazing, just out of my price range. So anyway, we're seeing what $5 gets. I mean, people buy Chardonnay every day, all day by the case. Again, I keep staring at the color of this wine because I'm like, why is this so dark? Weird. And there is a butterscotchy nose to this. So that's kind of two strikes for me. The butterscotch on Chardonnay, a lot of people like it because that buttery component, but I'm like, with that nose and the way it looks, I'm already in my head. I'm kind of out on this wine. So unless it does like a serious course correction in my mouth, this is going to be a no. But anyway, I think a lot of people probably like this nose. It's just, for me, butterscotch is not my jam when it comes to Chardonnay or really any white wine, quite honestly. So oh dear. Oh. Okay, some people are going to like this wine. This is not for me. It's has residual sugar to it, which most, don't get me wrong, most California Chardonnays under $10 do have residual sugar. Not a bad thing. They just don't ferment it all out. So it tends to be more fruity, a little bit sweet. This to me has noticeable residual sugar, but it's also noticeably lacking acid, which to me creates disaster mouth. And to me, disaster mouth, you'll hear me use, that's a term that I just made up, but it's just where it's not working, where it's usually a food and wine pairing where there's a wine that just creates a disaster in your mouth with a particular kind of food. This is creating its own disaster in my mouth on its own, as far as I'm concerned, because there's no acid. It's almost like there's no spine, there's no skeleton to this wine, so it's like trying to hang clothes on a wet leaf. There's just no structure. With food, this would create an absolute disaster. I can't even sit around and have this as like a cocktail wine, because there's nothing about this wine that's inviting me to try it again, because there's no acidity. There's no grip. So to me, it's flat and flabby and a little bit sweet, and I just don't like it, plain and simple. For some people, maybe this works. I mean, again, it's $5. I get for $5, but at $5, I can't even underwrite this wine because there's no acid to it. And again, you've heard me talk about balance. Balance is all about getting the fruit and the acid in any wine, red or white, to come together. and be in harmony and to be in balance. And that's not to say that all great wines, you can't have a good wine and you can't enjoy a wine if it's out of balance. It happens all the time. King's Cab. But this is just not, it's just not enough going on. There's not, oh no. Try it one more time. But the nose alone, the look, it's something about this wine that it's not kosher. No, it's flat. It's honeyed. There's a honeyed flatness to it. It's almost like they mixed a white wine with a mead. So this is a big no for me, in case you haven't gotten that already. Trader Joe's Petit Reserve Chardonnay, Monterey County 2021. Let's hope that the 2022 is already out and that they have moved on from this vintage and that something better is in the bottle. But for me, this 21 vintage, not the move at all. Definitely skip it and move on to something else. Again, until next time, enjoy, drink well, stay well, and we'll see you next time.